And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from OK Dude. And I'm guessing this came about from when I did my Tom Bombadil versus Pennywise, which was one of the most fun Who Would Wins I've ever done, when you realize the context of these characters and what it ultimately meant for one of them. But this is Tom Bombadil versus Darkseid. And I'm going to use that picture. Just to keep that close because it's just a better looking picture. So this unfortunately isn't going to go quite the same way as the last Tom Bombadil fight I went. Tom Bombadil, it's not made clear who or what he's Tom Bombadil, but who or what he actually is. There's many prevailing theories. Maybe that he's an embodiment of Middle-earth himself. Maybe that he's an ancient angelic being that's gone native. Maybe he's a representation of the author himself. There's never a clear-cut answer to who or what Tom Bombadil actually is. But what we know is he's a very happy, jolly-go-lucky fellow. Could get serious when he actually had to. And within his domain, he is kind of the strongest individual there is. Capable of, he commands the earth, he commands the hills, he commands the river. His song is capable of incapacitating others. He is immune to the effects of the ring. They have no power over him. Tom is his own man. Basically, and he can't be caught, essentially. Tom's power is that such that they basically said that Tom Bombadil Tom Bombadil's land, everything like that, probably couldn't withstand the siege of Sauron unless that power was inherently in the earth itself, meaning an implication saying that Tom's powers come from Middle Earth itself. So that is kind of a key to how powerful Tom Bombadil is. That also it basically says that that's not saying Tom Bombadil couldn't beat Sauron, but they're saying that he could not withstand it unless that power was inherent in the land itself. Tom Bombadil, though, is very happy, very jolly fellow. Tends to just not take things that seriously, but he's still a very likable character. A lot of people were shamed or saddened that he wasn't in the original Lord of the Rings movie, but at the same time, look, there's only so much you could have put in those movies. Darkseid. I can't remember his actual character's name. Actually, I got this from one of the sites you can find about Darkseid, but basically he was a new god. He fell into like a pool of, I can't remember exactly what he fell into. Like something he basically is the living embodiment. He's actually a god of tyranny. He has access to the Omega effect, which allows him to harness the Omega energy. As you see with the Omega beams, that is one form they take. Beams that are omnidirectional will move in any way and will track their opponent until they hit something, be it the opponent or something that gets in the way of the beam. Beam can be concussive, heat can just incinerate, or he can use the Omega station to transport you through time, have you die over and over and over again in worse and worse and worse ways. Darkseid is strong enough to take on Superman and usually either he's equal to Superman or he beats Superman in pure strength most of the time. Superman is someone who can beat Darkseid sometimes in a contest of strength, but Darkseid's one of the few people who can regularly bitch smack Superman around. Speed-wise, while it's not often showcased, he's fast enough to keep up with someone like Superman or tag the Flash. Durability-wise, he can withstand the explosion of planets, everything along those lines. But his form he's also got like mind control, all those kind of things. But his form can be killed because what you see here, the individual you normally see in the comics, isn't really the true form of Darkseid. It's an avatar he uses to interact with the world. His true form exists in a different dimension. It's kind of not ethereal, but an incorporeal form in many ways. And that form can still be destroyed through, I think, beaten through singing at one point. Superman sung and it was like beating him. I can't remember how that worked. But if the reason his real form can't enter our universe is it literally would destroy the universe if he entered the universe. That being said, he does have like his own version of kryptonite that can be exploited. He has been beaten several times before, usually outsmarted or something like that. But he has been beaten before. So who do I want to fight between Tom Bombadil or Darkseid? Darkseid would win the fight. This isn't like Pennywise, where Pennywise had abilities that fed off certain emotions. Darkseid is just someone who would... Darkseid could just destroy Middle Earth. He could destroy a planet if he wanted to. If Darkseid truly wanted to, he could just blow up the entirety of Middle Earth and be done with it. and then just go along his way. But if these two met, like Darkseid just wound up in Tom Bombadil's domain, Tom Bombadil's like, oh, you are. And Tom Bombadil, I can't remember exactly. He's described having kind of more of a high-pitched voice, but I've always likened him to more having kind of like a Hagrid voice, honestly. When you look at that guy, you think a bit more, because he's a bit robust, or rotund, I should say. Not like super fat, but he's heavier. He's got a big beard. You would think, with the songs like, oh, Tom Bombadil is a merry fellow. You think of that, like, oh, Tom Bombadil is a merry fellow. Like maybe an Irish accent to go with it or something like that. But yeah, and he just, he recognizes immediately Darkseid, because he can recognize evil. Easy. So he recognizes Darkseid as evil. He's like, what can I do for you, lad? And he's like, I am here. I am Darkseid. I control all, and I have come to control this land. This world will be Darkseid's. I'm afraid you can't do that. See, in my land, and within my domain, all must obey, even the likes of you. And oh, Tom Bombadil is a merry fellow. And like, Darkseid can probably feel that his power is trying to subjugate him. And he's like, but he's just probably standing there just, well, not looking like that, mind you, but kind of just standing there in that standard arms behind his back pose he often has. He can feel his power, he kind of like being subjugate a little bit. He actually clenches, tenses a little bit. Just, I must admit, for something, a being of your stature to have power like this is impressive indeed. However, and then he just starts kind of standing back up and walking towards Tom Bombadil, who starts to sink faster and harder. Again, Darkseid's feeling it, but he's just walking towards him. This world seems to create many powerful mortals. I could use men like talent like that. Someone like you could be very useful to me. Tell me, how would you like a job? Is like, no, Tom Bombadil? Is that a no? I take it that's a no. Shame, but understandable. After all, you couldn't really fathom what I could be offering you. But besides that, so if you will not be joining, if you choose not to join me, then you are nothing more than in the way. And then just Omega beams him and just incinerates his ass. That's the real problem here. The problem here, unlike with something, again, going back to the Pennywise versus Tom Bombadil fight, Pennywise's power can fluctuate and vary. Darkseid's normally does not, and when you're talking about even a base form, just standard Darkseid, that is like it. Okay, let me actually use the picture of here as an example here. Let's get right this out. See this picture? Let's say this entire thing is Darkseid right here. Where's Tom Bombadil's power rank here? This isn't even his full power. This is just like a base form Darkseid. Tom's maybe down here on that like line there. Just Tom Bombadil they're the strongest individuals in Middle Earth. Couldn't even take on the mid-range individuals of DC or Marvel. It's just a completely different world with completely different rules. The strongest individuals like Tom Bombadil, Sauron, Galadriel. Oh crap! What was the dragon that was as big as a mountain? That guy. They're all amazingly powerful and dangerous, but when it's all about the context of how your power fits in the world you were put in. If you were to take any of the strongest Lord of the Rings characters and put them into another universe, Marvel, DC, I'm just throwing some out there, Bleach, Dragon Ball Z, My Hero Academia, Pokemon, all that stuff, your power is clearly in a different standard than what the power there is. That could be either different standard in the positive, meaning you're far powerful than that universe, or different level in a negative, where you're nowhere near an equal in that universe anymore. So, like Gandalf and stuff like that, wizards could maybe do some stuff, but because they do take time to cast like really major spells, they would still be completely outmatched. Darkseid is just being far beyond anything that Middle Earth would ever really encounter. If Darkseid legitimately came to Middle Earth, he would subjugate the crap out of that in a minute. Saruman, not Saruman, well, Saruman, but Sauron wouldn't hold a candle to a Darkseid at all. And I know I might get some Lord of the Rings guys out there, or girls, fans, who's like, you don't know anything about Lord of the Rings. I know enough about Lord of the Rings. It's not something I am well versed in. Like, I know Mark, I think, knows more about Lord of the Rings than I do. But I definitely have at least a above working knowledge of Lord of the Rings. And I know for a fact that like most characters, anyone who is capable of destroying a planet is well beyond the power scheme of Lord of the Rings, okay? That, I think, is safe to say. Again, I'm sure I'll get people who argue differently, and that's fine. It's all personal opinion. Someone brought this up at one point, but I may be speaking like my opinion is fact, but I know still it's just opinion. I'm just speaking with a level of conviction that I believe what I'm saying to be true. Now, I could be wrong, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Anyway, but that's my thoughts. Darkseid, unfortunately, would curb stomp Tom Bombadil. Curb stomp. I gotta put a little flourish in there. Curb stomp. Yeah, he would own Tom Bombadil pretty quick. Anyway, I digress. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Superior, Magic, what if, anything you do on the channel. Put that in the comments below as well. I'll get to that at some point. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.